Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors, of course, go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth in all honesty. All right, trying to wake up the remaining hopeful elect because time is short. All right, this is Nama of the DC camp. And as you can see on the screen, court just ruled that they blocked Biden administration's transgender mandate. And make no mistake about it, this all started years before Biden even got in office. All right, that's what your boy, for those of you that voted for that piece of shit, Obama was put in there for. See, you keep playing these games on Jake, and that's another reason for these Edomites, these so-called white people that know the game that's being played and know how our people are being manipulated. But nonetheless, that's all the more reason for them to hate you even more, because there's no way to soften this. Our people are just fucking stupid. They're prone to emotion, and this is where these things backfire, all right, on our enemies, because this is designed to wreck us as a people, and let's face it, it has by and large. All right, but now they're getting a lot of blowback, these things affecting their children, all right, their lives, all of this shit. There's so many scriptures on that. Psalms chapter 7, verse 15 and 16, Psalms chapter 9. I mean, he that diggeth a pit, he should fall into, paraphrasing, should fall into that same pit. All right, plenty of scriptures on that. And that's just what happened. Well, it goes back to the curses, right? And that was Deuteronomy 30. And, well, let's get that. All right, because this mother effer thinks, all right, he's not going to face the consequences of his actions. He thinks he's just going to ride into the sunset. And I'm talking about the so-called white man, for those of you. Oh, he's just rambling. And no, I'm talking about our enemies, our oppressors. All right. This is way back in the second book of the law, Deuteronomy. It's Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. It says, and the Lord in all caps there, that's the Most High, his name is Yahweh. All right, don't believe me? Let's go on down here. See, Yahweh. Strong's H3068, self-existent or eternal. Of course, there's no J and there's no V in Hebrew. All right, there you go. That's the Hebrew, not the Jewish. So you got to be how they, got to be up on how they play these games with words. Try to get into your head. It's Jewish. No, those are not the people. We are. Got to remember that. And the Most High Yahweh, thy power, not everybody else's, thy power, he's talking about, this is Moses, he's talking to the Israelites, right? Will put all these curses upon thine enemies. First, second, third person, he's talking about our enemies, all right? And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. See, there's prerequisites to that. What does the next verse say? Verse 8, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Most High Yahweh, and do all his commandments which I commanded thee this day. But a lot of our people don't want that. See, they're under this spell of Christianity that tells you you can just do whatever you like, as long as you call on JC, everything's going to be all right. And nothing could be further from the truth. First of all, that's not his name. The Most High's son, his name is Yahweh Shai. If you noticed when I read that definition, when I went in to the Lord in all caps, let's do that again. Self-existent or eternal. What do you notice? called a nomen est omen. Let's look that up real quick. Nomen est omen. Nomen, hold on. Let's see. Is it going to do it by itself? Yes, nope. I got to do it. Here it is. All right. Nominative determinism is the hypothesis that people tend to gravitate towards areas of work that fit their names. All right, let's go to nomen est omen in Wikipedia. Oh, that's in, oh, hell no, that's in, wow, why did I see that? Sorry about that. Let's see. Nope, got me again. What the hell? Sorry about that, Latin. No. What the hell is going on here? Let's try this. Okay, here we go. Oh boy, why is this so complicated? All right, let's see. Let's go to Webster's. All right, etymology. I'm thrown for a loss here, Akim. Let's just go to where I was going to go before. Let's just say it's the, okay. It says, let's see, let's go definition. Nominative determinism, literally name-driven outcome, is the hypothesis that people tend to gravitate towards areas of work which reflect their names. The name fits because people possibly subconsciously made themselves fit. All right, nominative determinism differs from the concept of aptronyms in that it focuses on causality. All right. Oh boy, see, this is how people in ancient times, despite what these idiots here are saying, this is how they roll. All right, this determined. Let's see what this is. Dictionary. Let's see reverso. Oh, I ain't gonna even try that. I can't believe I'm taking this much time on this. Oh, boy. I cannot believe this. Something so simple. All right, Bible.org. All right, finally, let's see. Nomen est omen. I apologize for taking this long on this. It says there's an old Latin saying, nomen est omen, which means name is an omen. Thank you. I finally found it. I had to bookmark this. I have to go through all that bullshit. Anyway, at times the Bible refers to omens and divination positively or without condemnation. It says Leviticus 16, 8 through 10, Acts 1:26. At other times, such practices are depicted negatively. However, what is meant by omen in the saying in this article is that a person's name is a sign of who a person is in their true identity. Finally. All right, so let's go back to the Most High, self-existent or eternal. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, which means, guess what? He is the Savior. He saves. All right. Simple as that. Now, after all that, let's go back to this. So, what happened at the court, they blocked the Biden mandate on this transgender bullshit. All right. All right. So, in case you didn't know, that was an agenda. And your boy Obama, yeah, that's what he was put in there for. Because, you know what, like I said, our people are all emotional. They guess a dark-skinned person, and he's not even of our nation. All right. This goes to show you, you focus on so much on the color black. There's different nations, people. And we have, everybody's our enemy. All right. It says a federal appeals court has permanently blocked the Biden administration's bid to force doctors and insurers to perform or pay for gender transition procedures, even if they object on grounds of conscience and medical judgment. How are you going to force, especially children? See, that's how you know this is so fucking wicked, all right? But they want you to trust in our science, which is their God, all right? You got to remember, these people, these Edomites, these are bastards in the literal sense. They have no heavenly Father. The Most High hates them. All you have to do is read, people. Read on the nation of Edom, all right? Descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. These are the ones, all right, pretending to be us, all right, and doing all kinds of atrocities while pretending to be us. These are the people that rule this world as the elite banking families. All right, this is no conspiracy. I mean, you're free to think that if you so choose, but in the very near future, you're going to regret that. All right, it says, with the court basing its decision on constitutional protections of religious freedom. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit issued a unanimous ruling. All right, and we'll get to that right here. It's in PDF on December 9th. Let's go over here and see what it says. Transgender mandate. Top 10 facts to know. HHS, all right, recently mandated that doctors must perform gender transition procedures on children even when those procedures may be physically and emotionally harmful to the child. Isn't this some demonic shit? But the gay mafia, the LGBTQ, trying to get P up in there for pedophile. Oh, I'm sorry. They renamed it minor attractive persons or some shit like that. No, pedophiles. Children, number 2, particularly those that identify as gay and trans children, are some of the most vulnerable in our society. Parents and doctors should be free to work together without government intrusion to decide what is best physically and emotionally for the child. Anybody want to guess who runs Health and Human Services? That's right, A-Train. Gender transition procedures are a deeply personal decision and are especially complicated for children. All the more reason why children should not be making that decision. Duh. That decision, should be made after candid discussions between the family and their doctor, without interference from politicians and government bureaucrats. But these are the same people that are mandating this bullshit. You speak with forked tongue, as our brother Gad says. Number 4, allowing these procedures on children ignores studies demonstrating that up to 94% of children experiencing gender dysphoria, 77 to 94% in one set of studies, and 73 to 88% in another, will grow out of their dysphoria naturally. HHS itself cites to guidance that acknowledges these studies. Research shows that there are significant risks with medical transition procedures for children, including heart diseases, type 2 diabetes, loss of bone density, cancer, and other serious problems, because it's unnatural. It's wicked. Six, nearly all doctors in the U.S. will be impacted by this new rule. Some portions of the rule will force qualified medical professionals to perform gender transition procedures such as puberty suppression, cross-hormone therapy, and plastic surgery on children. On children. Seven, if a doctor follows their Hippocratic oath to act in the best interest of the child instead of the new mandate, they can face severe consequences, including losing their job. Mandate doesn't allow room for a doctor's medical judgment, and doesn't even allow the doctor refer the child to a more willing or more qualified doctor to perform the procedure. Any refusal by a qualifying and practicing doctor is a violation of the mandate. Anybody see where all this shit is going? And how we're in for really bad times? Read 2nd Ezra's 15th and 16th chapters, respectively. This is what we're heading right into. All right, people are tired of this shit there. They're fed up, all right, with these so-called leaders. They're messing with your children. They're coming after the children. See, this devil works through gradualism. Just, I'll say 15 short years ago, this wouldn't have been tolerated. Some may disagree with me and go back, say, well, definitely in the 90s, we know that, but I was just gonna, just in the last 15 years, all this shit has just, goodness. That's why I said Obama came out of nowhere, 2006, 2007. Boom, given the speech at, what was it? Some rally, some convention, I'm sorry. I forget what it was now. But yeah, that's why I said 15 years. And now look, all kind of questions surrounding him and what he really is and what his wife really is. The jury's still out. All right. Verse number 9. The mandate also will force virtually all private insurance companies and many employers to cover gender transition procedures or face severe penalties and legal action. We can't feed the people, we can't house them, but we sure can if you desire to change your gender. Oh man, we drop everything for you to do that. This is fucking wicked. It goes to Isaiah 19 and 14 and that perverse spirit. Let's get that real quick. This is some fucking wicked ass shit. Let's go to, I thought I had it. Keeps disappearing on me. Salakia. Pull it up again. I don't know why this keeps happening. Oh, crap. Oh, boy. Why, oh, why, oh, why? There we go. This is going to be Isaiah 19 and 14. Get my ugly mug out of the way. The Most High Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. This is a filthy place. All right, let's look at NLT. The Most High Yahweh has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. NIV, the Most High Yahweh has poured into them a spirit of dizziness. They make Egypt stagger in all that she does, as a drunkard staggers around in his vomit, and that they do. Can't tell left from right, top from bottom. Right from wrong, good from evil. Hell, that sounds like another one. Let's go to, staying in Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 5 and 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Is this not what they're doing? NIV, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. NLT, what sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil, that dark is light and light is dark, that bitter is sweet and sweet is bitter. You're all fucked up. All right. again, people are tired of it. And some decisions, all right, as it's telling you here, some of these things in this case, you really can't take it back. All right, it goes into controversial mandate, tells you 2016 under the Affordable Care Act, and who pushed for that. All right. Do no harm, talking about that Hippocratic oath. Well, that's not to the Most High, Yahweh, that's to those pagan Greek gods. So, like, whatever. He goes on to say the federal government has no business forcing doctors to violate their consciousness or perform controversial procedures that could permanently harm their patients. Again, letting you know this is an agenda. Luke Goodrich, Vice President and Senior Counsel at Beckett, said in a statement, "This is a common sense ruling that protects patients, aligns with best medical practice, and ensures doctors can follow their Hippocratic oath to do no harm." See, this is something they shit because they, of course, with this Greek shit, since they think they're, that's how they put themselves against the Most High. Above the Most High. Again, telling you who we're dealing with. 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter. He thinks himself on that level. All right. Isaiah 14th chapter, since we're in Isaiah, but let's get another article here because you have someone that regretted, dare I say, regretted making such a decision. All right. Let's get that real quick. Navy SEAL to resume living as a man. What? You would think a Navy SEAL, a man's man, special forces, G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, all that shit. But no. A former U.S. Navy SEAL who famously came out as transgender 10 years ago has renounced their transition and will soon resume living as a biological male. Wow. And I found this, I got the station running now, NTD, Epic Times, right wingers, it's good to go behind enemy lines, get a, fix on what they're thinking. Not that you know what they're all about, but still, pays to have your ear to the ground, so to speak. Anyway, in 2013, Chris Beck, then known as Kristen Beck, famously came out as transgender after serving in the Navy for 20 years, including SEAL Team 6. And the founder of that group just died not too long ago, a friend of Jesse Ventura. What was his name? Started with an M. I can't remember his fucking name, but anyway, yeah, he passed away not too long ago. He was the founder of SEAL Team 6. Having been deployed, was it Mancuso? Wait a minute. Rick Mancuso or something like that. Anyway, it says, having been deployed over 13 times and having received over 50 medals and ribbons for his service. Speaking with CNN's Anderson Cooper, that figures. At the time, this is Anderson Cooper, for those of you that didn't know, is one of the Vanderbilts. All right, he's a member of that family. Speaking with CNN's Anderson Cooper at the time, Beck said he always felt like a woman, a feeling he bottled up for years. It is a constant, he said, but as you suppress and as you bottle it up, it's not that on the surface, so maybe I could put it back a few different layers. You would never notice it. Now, nearly 10 years later, Beck has renounced his words, saying that CNN used him, wow, really? For propaganda purposes while calling on Americans to wake up to the transgender radicalism targeting children. Let's look at this video.
You may or may not have seen in 2013 an interview with a Navy SEAL named Chris Beck. He came out on Anderson Cooper in an hour-long special as a transgender Navy SEAL and said he was transitioning to a woman. That story was watched by tens of millions of people. It had a massive effect, and it was followed by a book called Princess Warrior that was written with a psychologist who was working with him. Now today, we've got Chris on the show with his fiancée Courtney to break down why he's detransitioning. That's right. He is no longer transgender. He's seen that this was the wrong path and wants to warn kids
I've seen a lot
down that same path so that they don't make the same mistakes that he's made. Hi Chris, hi Courtney. Thank you so much for coming on with us today. You may already know Chris from previous episodes on Joe Rogan or from the story in 2013 where Chris came out as transgender, and I can tell you a little bit more about his military service, which is why it was notable in the media at the time. Did an hour-long special with Anderson Cooper explaining sort of the transition story and everything like that. He was SEAL Team 6. He served for over 20 years, and I have to bring up a paper to read and remember all the medals that Chris has earned. So
please don't.
And now I've got to, so that everybody understands the nature of what you've done. You earned Bronze Star with Combat Distinguishing Service, Purple Heart. You're a rare 2-time recipient of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal. You retired with a final rating of Senior Chief Special Warfare Operator. And I did a little bit of research on my own and spoke to some SEALs and people who are in the Navy who say that your service actually went beyond what you see in those medals, that you were something of, a really legendary SEAL, that you did some pretty amazing things. That's what I heard from people who served at the same time and after. You did a lot of great things, and you displayed the type of bravery that I think people want in warriors. So thank you for your service first before we get into this. But why we're here today is because of everything happening in America with this transition craze that's going on with kids. You have something that you want to tell the world. What is that?
So the word you used just then, craze, I think a lot of people would probably be offended by that, but they should be. There was a time when transgender, like what I thought I was, and I'm going to go into a lot of that, so that, remember that. It was not easy. It was
look at the expression on her face.
You also saw like what was happening in society. You're like, I don't want to do that. Nobody wanted to do that. It wasn't something that you lose your job, you lose your friends. I was making $200,000 a year before I came out. I had a great job. I had all my friends. I had a life. Right now, it's like about 1% in those days. It was a real low number. And now it's upwards of what, 20%? I mean, nobody knows, but that kind of a jump. It was like this really long line, and then boom, it just jumps up. What happened? And that's what I'm asking. And now there's like, what, thousands of gender clinics being put up all over America. I think if you had one gender clinic in per state, that would be a lot, because there's so few amount of people. Now what's happening is somehow this became popular or something happened. I don't know. There's kids right now who are teenagers. There's 13-year-olds right now. These girls who possibly being bullied, possibly anxiety, depression, adjustment disorder, eating disorder. There's a whole bunch of things that could be happening in these young people's lives. But as soon as they go in and see a psychologist, and this happened to me too, so it's personal knowledge. They go in and see a psychologist, and they start talking about their past. They start talking about, and I talked about it, about some sexuality stuff. I talked about, hey, I put on, my sister's clothes when I was a kid, and I do some of it now, and it makes me feel better. I just can relax. I just go, it like takes a weight off my shoulders. What does it take off, like the masculine weight or something? It's really heavy. But there's so many things we have to unpack here. Now imagine you're 13 years old and going through all this. That's the problem. There's too many other things we have to go through to get there. As soon as they go in and say, I'm a tomboy, I like to do this, and it makes me feel comfortable, they give all their reasons why, and then psychiatrist says, oh, you're transgender. And then the next day you're on hormones?
I'm sorry, he's talking, but I'm looking at her. She's fucked up. Hey, wow, this is why more and more people hate America. A land of confusion, Babylon the Great. All right, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of, let's get it real quick while I still have it on my mind. This is what these devils are doing. This is Proverbs. Let's see. All right. It says, train up, Proverbs 22:6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Like you said, you got polar opposites here. That what you should be doing in righteousness, these devils are doing in wickedness. They're getting the children earlier and earlier. All the years, all right, when you go back and you look at all these Disney movies and all these cartoons, they were pushing this agenda early on. It's just a lot of people didn't catch on to it. I mean, because a lot of people bought into the bullshit that America is such a righteous place. Who would think to even bother to look at or even think twice about Bugs Bunny in a dress or, you know, a lipstick and all that shit on? What? How harmful can that be? Well, yeah, it is, as it turns out. All right. Let's go to NLT. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. But what happens when you do the opposite? Start children off, NIV, start children off on the way they should go. And even when they are old, they will not turn from it. All right, and this is a problem with Jake because we've been experimented on so much. All right, and we've been in our enemy's clutches for so long. All right, our family structure and everything is all but destroyed. All right, and this is why we tell you you have to hasten the day. You know, the captive exile. When you go into Isaiah, I believe that's 51:14. All right, we are the captive exile, and your mindset should be, we want to get the fuck up out of this place. This is no good for us. It never has been. All right, and that's what myself personally and others, fuck this place. All right, we beg for it to be destroyed, like that saying we had in the military. You know, if it absolutely positively has to be destroyed overnight, this is who you call, and this is why we're pleading for the Heavenly Father. You know, hey, turn his son loose, turn your Yahweh loose. You know, we want some of that Isaiah 63 action to commence. All right, that's what we're looking for too. All right, and some other scriptures. We want this destruction of this place. All right, and to the nation of Edom. All right, Sirach 25:7. This is what we, you know, while we're alive, we want to see the destruction of this place. All right, we want to see the destruction of our enemy. All right, and we're seeing it. Remember, I read earlier Deuteronomy 30:7. These curses that were put on us are being, all right, those curses are transitioning over to our enemy. All right, he knows this. That's why he's trying to hurry up and get his new world order set up. All right, this week, that Executive Order 14067 that was signed in March, all right, goes into effect with the digital currency system. All right. Yes, for those of you that didn't know, and you'll be surprised by the people that have no idea. All right, but hey, that's them, because all they have to do is pay attention. We're out there on the highways and byways, but you know, since the so-called white man isn't saying this outright, all right, they're not going to believe it, because hey, that's their God. That's their, you know, especially the so-called black woman. That's you know, that's her God, so-called white man. So hey, people are going to get caught unawares. I'll put the link to all this. You know, that's the gist of it. You can watch the rest of the interview if you want. I'm just looking at the expression on his, I assume it's his wife, She's like disgusted, and if I'm reading it correctly, she does not want to be there. But hey, those benefits. That's how I'm reading it. Anyway, so hey, once again, this thing on the, assuming he didn't get the surgeries or anything, some things you just can't take back. But anyway, so with that, hey, I hope whoever views this is edified. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. All right, filter everything through the scriptures. Hey, because like I said at the opening, time is short. All right, got to get your house in order. All right, so with that, hey, until the next video, shalom.